What's going on, guys? It is I, yours truly, SomeJoeSchmoe, and guys, welcome to February. Ah, yes, February, the love month. The month in which you are tested on how much you love your significant other based solely on the amount that you spend on them on the 14th. Or if you're a lonely, miserable, old fool like myself, you are eagerly waiting for that Pornhub free premium week to come. Oh, please, we can only pray to the Pornhub gods. But if you're in another demographic, you like to watch romantic comedies. Now, guys, there's no other platform out there that is just tainted with these terrible romantic comedies quite like Netflix. Now, I've spent a couple of my days just perusing the romantic comedies. Even a couple of them I've watched on the side just to kind of fill my time. I'm looking at you, Kissing Booth 1 and 2. You're terrible. But there are other movies out there, I guess, that have gotten even worse of a bad rap than The Kissing Booth. And of course, that is where I come into play. We're gonna be taking a look at some of these terrible romantic comedies, starting with today's first movie, and that is Naked. Naked is a 2017 romantic comedy, quote unquote, that stars Marlon Wayans and Regina Hall. Now, the basic plot of this entire movie is Groundhog's Day meets Marlon Wayans naked in an elevator. There it is. That's it. Signed, sealed, delivered. Smack a freaking Marlon Wayans naked wallpaper on there and send it on off to the director, because that's essentially what the movie is. One of the worst traits about this movie, not only is it just everything about it.
I'm not a streaker. I'm just trying to get to my wedding.
But it tries to take this idolized 80s comedy of Groundhog's Day and do something like modern with it and add a unnecessary convoluted romantic plot to it.
Mom, I need your help. I'm freaking out. I'm butt naked. I'm 20 blocks from the hotel, and I keep repeating the same hour over and over again.
And now in Groundhog's Day, there is to a certain extent, romantic plot that does take place. You know, Bill Murray is trying to win over, what's-her-name, Curly Sue, and does so by, learning a lot of things about her.
Believe it or not, I studied 19th century French poetry.
What a waste of time.
Goes through different trials and tribulations as far as learning new skills, and tries to impress her on a day-to-day basis. Now that I'm really thinking about it, it kind of sounds an awful lot like 50 First Dates, but I guess, wow, it kind of is like that.
Now, the guy who's afraid of commitment is going to extremes to get the girl.
Naked follows our main character of Rob Anderson, played by Marlon Wayans, who's about to get married to his fiancée, Regina Hall. Now, one of the things that the movie does is try to give you a little bit of a hint as far as why maybe Marlon Wayans is experiencing this Groundhog's Day syndrome. He kind of struggles a little bit with commitment issues, which is demonstrated by him being a substitute teacher, I guess, who doesn't want to take a full-time job. But
so I've got a full-time position. Love to talk to you about.
Let me stop you right there. I'm good for a couple of days a week, but I can't commit to anything more than that.
Is that what it's trying to do, or are they that smart? No? Do we give a shit? Probably not. As we get to, I believe, where the movie takes place in the main town of Charleston, we're throwing a couple of different characters in this movie. Now, again, one of the big problems with this movie is the pacing. The movie is an hour and a half, but it feels like it's a 3.5-hour movie because of how they try to use and abuse this Groundhog's Day syndrome. The main plot point is Rob goes out the day before his wedding, which, how many of you guys have had a bachelor or bachelorette party the day before your wedding? Call me crazy. I might be 34 and single, but in my experience, you usually plan these bachelor or bachelorette parties out at least, weeks in advance, so that you don't have a situation where you're hungover or do stupid shit the day before your wedding. So in this movie, they have their bachelor or bachelorette party. Of course, Rob wakes up nude in an elevator and is on the precipice of missing his wedding. Then we're posited this whole thing that Rob is now reliving this same hour from the moment he wakes up nude to, I guess, when a church bell rings indicating an hour.
What's that loud ringing? Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Those are church bells, you idiot. Now look, you're running out of time. You need to get here now.
When Rob first wakes up, the first leg of the movie is essentially Rob unsure of what exactly happened. He's kind of running around. He's a little hungover, kind of perplexed at the situation of him being naked in an elevator. And then I guess he ends up in jail an hour passes, and then he comes to again, and then kind of recognizes like it's the same day. So the first, I believe, like 10, 15 minutes of him experiencing this time loop is kind of just him being a little kerfuffled, not sure what's happening, right? But again, this is where the issue of pacing comes into play, where the bell is really only being used every couple of other scenes, and they try to make so much time pass by throwing just montages at us. The first montage is Rob, he needs to get to the altar. Maybe if he just marries Regina Hall, maybe then this time loop will break. So we get montage after montage of him getting different outfits. Maybe if I try this on, I'll go here. I don't want to be naked when I go to the altar. And he keeps doing this. It keeps going and going and going. And then he finally figures out, the next montage is he figures out the, I guess, ex-boyfriend of Regina Hall's character, who's, I guess, at the wedding because the dad invited him. And yes, the dad is Allstate Man.
What do you want from me?
I want you to be somebody else. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Are you in good hands? Evidently not, because he's pretty much a big dick in this movie. But the next montage is Rob Anderson tries to then steal the ex-boyfriend's suit, and because like the ex-boyfriend's like some martial arts jiu-jitsu master, is able to fend him off. But then it's like, again, they throw us this like scene in which like Rob knows all of his moves, and he's like, deflecting and repeating the same words because it's funny, guys, right? We got to make it a comedy.
Dude, how do you know what I'm saying right now? This is crazy.
In Groundhog's Day, it's easily delivered to the audience that Bill Murray is reliving the same day and has been there for such a long periods of time by telling stories of all the restaurant patrons, learning different skill sets. Again, I don't know how long it would take to ice sculpt or learn the piano, but I would recognize it would take a couple of years in order to become that efficient at it. And in this one, it's like, he's mocking the boyfriend, he's doing fight moves, he's deflecting and doing all this stupid shit. When in reality, at the end of the fight, he just like injects him with a needle and like, I guess he just passes out. Like, why not just do that before?
Favors? Do you mind falling that way? Somebody spilled a Coke over there and I would hate to get some on the suit. Yeah.
We were delivered so many other montages. He's got to write his vows, so he goes to weddings, and the inconsistency in this hour is all over the place, man. I mean, he can go to weddings, figure out fight moves, do all this shit, and then like other times he just is like steals a guy's phone, is on the in the porta potty for like maybe like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden he flashes forward. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. You can't show us everything that is transpiring throughout this hour, but like that's you writing yourself into a corner. At least with Groundhog's Day, we have the whole day to like kind of figure stuff out, I mean, or at least you kind of have this notion that you have 24 hours to learn a bunch of these skills or learn people's backstories and whatnot. But like Rob has it now. You have an hour each day to go to a wedding and figure out what people are saying. You have an hour to read Shakespeare and all these love sonnets, an hour a day to figure that. And that's why I feel like the movie, it just drags, man. Like I can't even begin to describe like all the other situations, all the wacky shenanigans he gets into, but it is absurd, guys. I mean, again, I think because of the fact that not only do they have an hour's time span to work with, but then they also introduce so many different characters. It was literally, there was 39 minutes into the movie where we had like 4 montages already go on, and there was like 45 minutes of the movie left. It was so, it was terrible. It's literally like the directors were like, we got Marlon Wayans, he's pretty hot. We had white chicks, it's booming, it's bumping, it's making a comeback right now. People are still talking about it. We have Groundhog's Day, people like that movie. Boom, what else do we got? Naked people love to be in the nude. They think it's funny, let's just do that. And that's how this movie was delivered. It's like Hollywood ran out of ideas and has kind of listened to people who are upset at reboots, but instead of like stopping the reboots, they're just like slapping a new like shit cover on top of reboots to like masquerade it as something else or something new and invigorating. There's literally another movie on Netflix with the same synopsis, it's a wedding that you're reliving every day. Are we gonna watch that? Most likely. Why am I doing this to myself? I kind of hate myself, guys. Naked, 2017 rom-com. If you want to watch it, it's currently on Netflix. I can't imagine why. The only cool thing I have to say about it is I believe it was actually shot in Charleston. That's all. It was on location shooting. Way to go, guys. Yeah. You circumvented expectations, and it wasn't on a lot. Anyway, guys, that was Naked. Available on Netflix. If you guys want to check it out, go ahead and do so. I don't recommend it at all. It's terrible. No redeeming qualities. You would think that Marlon Wayans, being a funny guy, maybe there might be some funny situations, but it's just dated humor. Things that people really wouldn't understand, get. Oh yeah, there's a Transformers joke in there. 2017, we got a Transformers joke still. What was the last two? The faded ones? The dark ones?
Rob! Huh?
Nice car. I was waiting for it to transform.
What is the... Who gives a shit, guys? Anyway, what do I know? I'm just some Joe Schmo talking about movies. Peace out, guys.